Hello, welcome to GeekyHiJynx, home of the Mischief Makers, and welcome back to another weekly roundup video. This is essentially where I talk to you about the films and TV shows I watched last week and give you my overall thoughts on them as well as an overall rating. Now, if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you do, because while I'm watching a film at home, I'll be talking about the film on Instagram story, so you can see if I'm having a good time or a bad time, and I'll go straight to Letterboxd, drop a mini review, and then I'll wait the following week and do one of these videos so I can talk about it more in depth. So, one thing to mention is I'm going to try and do these videos all in one take, which if you know me and watch my videos, is very hard because I talk really fast and I trip over my words and I get very distracted and I go off track. So I hope I don't go on about certain films for too long, because I know you've got a year to live and I don't want to keep you here for the next decade. But without further ado, let's talk about the films I watched and a couple of TV shows. And one thing I must mention is there isn't many films and TV shows this week I can talk about. Mainly because last week I was trying to get back on track with YouTube, get my videos out. I was working really hard to do that. Plus you got to watch the films and TV shows too. And I got into a bit of gaming again, which is always fun times, and I'll talk about that in a bit as well. But I was trying to get all these videos done, and as a result, the movies and TV shows took a bit of a hit. So next week there'll be more, but this week there's a few. Now before I begin, I need a little sip of coffee. Look, it's literally like, spot the mug. Can you spot the coffee cup? Where is it? You win £50 if you can find it. That's so camouflaged. Anyway, so the first film I watched last week was, man, I've got a comment on YouTube. I'll get back to you later, whoever you are. So the first film I watched was Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. Now, I'm a massive Resident Evil fan. I just remember being a kid watching people play the second one because it was so terrifying to me that I was too scared to play. I tried it for 5 seconds and I was like, nah, take the controller back, it would freak me out. And then I bought the remake. The remakes on like the GameCube and obviously Resident Evil 4, and the remake on the PlayStation 4, Resident Evil 2 is amazing, one of the best games ever made in my opinion. But I love that series. So having the films we've got in the past with, was it Mila Jovovich? Is that her name? Mila Jovovich? Forget her name now, but those films, apart from the first, which I only like because of nostalgia, I was in secondary school when that film came out, the rest are poo-poo. So when I saw the trailer for this, and my trailers on my channel, trailer reactions on my channel, I was really excited because I was just seeing things I recognised and looked really faithful to the games with the locations and not the characters, I'll get onto that in a second, but everything looked the same as the games, from the zombie turning around really slowly to the police station to the mansion. I was really looking forward to this one. So I sat down, put the film on, and I was given a bit of hope. In the first 2 minutes I thought, this looks alright, looks like Raccoon City, I'm impressed. And then the film continued, and what, I've never seen character assassination like this. What did they do to Leon? Leon, if you've played the games, is an absolute beast of a man. He's not scared of anything. He's literally always put people first. He does what he can to save the day in the games. He's an amazing character, and in this film they make him the biggest whiny wuss of all time, and I hated every minute of it. I was like, this isn't Leon. Who is this guy? He looks like Carlos. He's Leon's like partner in Resident Evil 4. That's what I thought it was at first. There's Jill. What's it? Not Jill Valentine. Claire, no, is it Claire Redfield? Oh my god, I forgot all the names now. That's really bugged me. I forgot all the Resident Evil names. Because there's Jill Valentine. That wasn't Jill. And if they're going to do more sequels to this, you mean I've got to follow this girl with Nemesis? I don't think so. Then there's Claire Redfield, and who's the brother called? Oh, I'm gonna kill myself. But yeah, it wasn't a great film. CGI was terrible. The story was, they mixed 1 and 2 together. Why couldn't they just do the first one on its own, then do the second film as a sequel? That'd have been perfect. It was too choppy back and forth. There was a lot of strobe lighting, and it got really dark at times. And come the end of it, I was like, meh. So for me, I gave it on Letterboxd 2 out of 5 geeky coins, which is too generous, so I'll knock it down to 1.5, and I'll change on that later. The next film I watched in the week was what I just fancied something light, you know, nothing too long, nothing too heavy. I wasn't going to watch Power of the Dog because I haven't seen that yet, but I thought to myself, nah, like the time of night it was, I wanted something a bit more light, So I went on Disney Plus and I put on Encanto. Now, I saw posters of this in my local cinema. I just didn't pull me in. I don't know why. Like, Coco was a great film, and I did the same thing with that. I thought, this doesn't look like me. Put it on. Coco destroyed me, especially at the end with that damn grandma. But Encanto, I thought, screw it, I put it on. I didn't know what the cast was. I didn't know what the film was about. I knew nothing of it. And when I put it on, I loved it. I had such a good time with it within the first 30 seconds. I thought the animation in this is absolutely amazing. I thought the voice acting was great as well. And I didn't know it was Gina from Brooklyn Nine-Nine that did the voice of, what's her name? I forget her name now. Mirabelle. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but that's how they say it in the film. Mirabelle. So, she done a great, the cast are great. But the best thing about the film are the songs. I love the songs. I was literally sitting in this chair, watching the film, having a good time. The story is a nice story. Could go into a little bit. Essentially, it's I'm not going to go into about it a little bit. I'm never going to read it. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. But the best part of this film are the songs, and there's one called "We Don't Talk About Bruno." We don't talk about Bruno, no. We don't talk about Bruno. That song is still in here, rent free. It literally will not leave. It's such a catchy song. It's ridiculous. But I know I passed on the story quickly a second ago, but essentially it's just a girl that lives in a magical house with her family, or who each have a magical power apart from her, and she kind of sees her losing this entire world she's living in. So she sees her family in danger, she sees the village in danger, she sees the home breaking apart, and essentially she's trying to find her uncle who prophesizes the future to try and help stop it. And that's essentially the story. I could go into it more, but if you haven't watched it, it is a fun one. But like I said, the best part of it is the songs. Story isn't anything great. It even felt a bit rushed at the end, and it didn't pull my heartstrings like the other Disney films did. But I had a good time with this one, so I gave it. What did I give it? I gave it 3.5 out of 5 geeky coins. After that, again, I was feeling a bit light, and I wanted to watch something else. My phone has frozen. Always happy. So. Here we go. So one thing I'm watching at the moment is anime. Now with me and anime, I can't watch more than one at a time, because sometimes I'll find the story of one more appealing and then I'll drop the other one. So I'm watching Demon Slayer at the moment. Demon Slayer is a fantastic anime. If you're not watching it and you love, if you watch anime, you love anime and you haven't watched Demon Slayer yet, what is wrong with you? Because it's kind of a standard now, like My Hero Academia, to have watched this. Fantastic series. Amazing animation. I'm about halfway through season 2. Once it's wrapped up, I'll do a review of it, but definitely check it out if you are into anime. So that's they're 23 minutes an episode, so they're perfect if you just want a quick watch. So the next film I watched was For the Sake of the Vicious, which is actually my first ever Shudder film of the year, and I expect so much, and yet they give so little back. My review's out on Friday, but yeah, it's not great, guys. That's all I'm going to say. But my review will go into more detail with my own unique way when it comes to Shudder films. But yeah, it's not great, but definitely check out my review on Friday. Let me have a look what I watched next. Then I watched a fantastic film the day after called The Mitchells vs. the Machines. Now, I mentioned last week, because of getting my channel started up, I missed so many films last year because I was trying to work out how to edit, how to do certain things, certain effects. I was just learning the ropes, and I missed loads of films as a result. So you're going to see a lot of films from last year interspliced with films that are coming out this year as we go forward. But which I don't mind, because it gives me loads of things to watch each week. But Mitchells vs. the Machines, which is on Netflix, what a flipping amazing film. As soon as I started, I was just in my element. The humor is hilarious. The characters are so good. The voice acting is perfect. The animation, I love animation as I studied it in college. So seeing this weird kind of like cartoony Disney-esque movie spliced with 3D animation, but it also looks 2D. I actually loved. But for me, I've not laughed as much in a film in a very long time. Like, I'll laugh at parts in a film, but this film actively made me like laugh out loud. Not like LOL when you really just go and then you text someone saying LOL. I actually laughed out loud a lot. The main reason for this is the two robots. I forget their name. One's called Barbara and the other one's called I forget the other one's name, but everything they said was hilarious. My standout scenes with them is when like they're in that shopping mall and they go to the mum character, mother, like why did you what do they say now? Then they said to her, why did you help us, human? And she goes to him, well, I see you as one of my children now. And then he draws a little tear in his face and then he goes, I think I'm feeling emotion. Now the way I probably said it now is not funny at all, but when you watch it in the film, it's hilarious. It's my humour to a T, which is very random. I love that kind of stuff. But if you've never watched Mitchell's vs. the Machines, definitely watch it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 geeky coins. It's a film that I could watch over and over again and I would laugh just as much. It's a classic animated film. Okay, what else did I watch? Okay, so like I said, didn't watch too many films last week, but the one I watched last week on Friday was the latest Scream movie. Now I've got my review up for that already, so that'll be in the link below if you want to check that out. But generally, if you want to hear my basic thoughts, I thought it was a good film that missed the presence of Wes Craven. They did a good job without him, but he just missed his magical touch, kind of like with The Conjuring 3, it missed James Wan. Good film, but you can sense something's a little bit missing. It was a good slasher, I had a good time with it, but like, give it a month and then will people be talking about it still? I don't think so, but number one, people will talk about for years, and I think that's where the difference is. But I still had a good time. Now, let me just flip through my phone. Okay, so TV show wise, there's a few like I'm gonna get into soon, so you're gonna see that next week, the TV shows I'm watching. But the one I'm getting back into is a TV show called The Blacklist, and this show's been up for what, 9 years, but it's an amazing TV show. I think it stars, I forget his name, David Spade. I believe. Flip it now. I'm gonna have to find out now. That's gonna drive me nuts. The Blacklist. Talk among yourselves. Hurry up, Joe. Push it to the limit. Limit. Da, 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 da. I'm so glad you're not. Oh, James Spader. I did get it right. I just wasted your time for nothing. If you don't know who he is, really great character actor, and he was the voice of Ultron in the Age of Ultron, if you don't know who he is. But I love him as an actor. In this TV show, it's great. To give you a brief rundown of what the show is about, essentially The Blacklist is about a guy called Red Reddington, played by James Spader. He hands himself into the FBI, and he's like in the top 10 most wanted people in America, or in the world, and he hands himself in. And the FBI are like, oh my god, we just caught one of the biggest criminals alive. But like Red Reddington, James Spader's character, he was a good guy in the past, and then he started working with the world's criminals, and he's got an agenda because he only wants to speak to this rookie, this brand new FBI agent called Elizabeth Keene, who's been on the job one day, and he only wants to work with her, and he's essentially helping the FBI bring down their other like most wanted criminals. But he has agendas, so there's reasons why he's picking these certain people to be taken down by the FBI, because it serves his purpose. What that purpose is, you don't know, but it's just an amazing show. I think there's about 8 seasons now. I only got to about season 5, and that's mainly because a lot was going on during that particular season, and I kind of dropped it, and years went by, I started my new job, and I lost track of it, and I'm getting back into it now, and I've got back into it twice, which I don't need to think, oh, it can't be that good if this is your third attempt to watch it again. But it's just a very good TV show, and I like the story, I like the characters. Raymond Red Reddington is a severely underrated character in TV. Give it a go if you haven't heard of it before, or if you have watched it, let me know in the comments. Is it a good TV show? Did you enjoy it? Is it worth sticking with towards the end? I'll watch it either way, but it's definitely a TV show I recommend. If it was already like finished and all summed up, I'd probably do like a hidden gem review of it like later down the line to get people to watch it, because I've done one for Hannibal the other day, and this is equally a very good TV show that I watched in the same year that kind of both came out. And, oh, here's my phone. So that's the only real TV show I'm watching this week. Go back to Letterboxd, baby. So, in regards to gaming, now I've got back into gaming. I used to game. I've been a gamer all my life. I put a picture on Instagram like today of all the consoles. My brother was having a clear out. He found a lot of our old consoles. He gave them to me. I was like, sweet as a nut. So I've got my SNES, Nintendo 64, GameCube, Switch, PlayStation 4 down there in my mum's attic at home, or my mum's house. I've got my Xbox 360, my Nintendo Wii. Massive gamer, but I've had no time because my job is like very during the week, very intense. Traveling there and back takes quite a while. When I do get home, I've got to do housework, adult stuff, have food, and to do my YouTube thing. And by the end of it all, I haven't got time for a long story, a big adventure, and I'm really sad about that. So I thought, you know what, with this new year, I'm going to sort out my channel, which I have. I'm going to make more time to watch films and TV shows like I mentioned, which I'm doing. But I want to get gaming back in there. Not like maybe if it's just an hour or 2 hours a day, but I want to do a bit of gaming. And since I got back into it, I just feel so chilled. It's pure escapism, and the game I'm playing at the moment is the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is amazing. It took me a while to get used to the buttons because I'm used to the old school one where you all take turns picking a move, and then you wait for the enemy to move, and then you use potions like the old school RPGs. So I'm not used to this style, but once I got into it, I really enjoyed it. Once I completed it, do you want me to do a review on it? Nothing crazy, maybe just 5 minutes talking about like if I enjoyed it or not. But if you want to see a review for that, let me know in the comments, because that's something I like to get into. Maybe like reviewing some classic games, even like old school ones that I'm going to play through again. That's one thing I've always wanted to do with my channel, is do like gameplay, like people like not like Twitch essentially, but do horror games, because I love horror films, and you would not recognize me playing a horror game. I crap myself playing horror games, and I can watch any slasher, any horror, and I'd be fine. Soon as I start playing a horror game, it's game over for me. I am a nervous wreck. My palms get sweaty. I'm sweating on my forehead. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. My controller's falling out my hand. None of it's exaggerated. I'll tell you a quick story. I was at home, living at home still, and I had my headphones on. And me and my brother used to work together in this pub. And he was working late one night. I had the night off. I was playing this video game on the Xbox 360 called Dead Space 1, or Dead Space. It was the first one. Really good horror game. I wish I'd make a remake of that because it's great. I was playing it and it terrified me. I was scared selecting the language I wanted to play the film in. That's how scared I am of horror games. Like the music in the background when I had to select English was horrible to me. Anyway, I was playing this certain level and I was headphones on, pitch black, about 1 in the morning, and going down this alley, and you hear this like the horrible trombone orchestra music building up, and then it just stopped. And I was like, oh god. So I'm Isaac is the name of the character in the game. I'm going down this hallway. It's set in space obviously, and it's really quiet, and all I can hear is my own footsteps. But then I see this wheelchair just go across the room. I'm like, well, I hope that shepherd's pie in my knickers. Anyway, I'm getting to the end of this corridor, and I'm about to turn around the corner when my brother, at this exact same time, saw me playing this game, knew I was scared, thought it would be funny to jump out on me. He did so just as I turned the corner, and he went, boo, grabbed my shoulder, and I went, push, and I punched him in the head, and he went, whee, and flew onto his bed. Now, luckily nothing bad happened to me, just got a little bump and like a whoa. He said to me it's the only time he's seen stars, but I was just so nervous about playing this game that I punched him. So that's one thing I'd love to do on my channel down the line. Or if I got a PlayStation 5, is play like Resident Evil or other horror games, because one, I'd enjoy them, but I think you would also enjoy me playing them. So yeah, so Final Fantasy VII, great game. Sorry for that story. And the last film, the last film I watched in the week, I wanted to watch, I felt like an action thriller. and for some reason I just can't bring myself to watch No Time to Die. I know it's probably a really good film, but I just can't do it. I don't know what it is. It's just not appealing to me. I don't know what it is. I will get around to watching it eventually. I know it's really good because I hear people saying nothing but good things about it. But it's just, if I've got the time to watch it, I don't want to. I don't know why. So instead I put on Mission Impossible, the first one, that came out in '96. I really enjoy this film. And I think it gets kind of overlooked quite a lot because obviously the later ones are so crazy with all the stunts Tom Cruise does, and the cast have expanded and it's great and it's a lot more modern. But the first one, it just for the nostalgia. I remember I saw it at the cinema when it came out when I was 10. I think GoldenEye came out the same year, so that was a great year for movies. And I remember watching it and I loved it, and the story wasn't confusing to me. I loved how intricate it was. Watching it the other day, like some of the angles, some of the camera angles are really crazy. It's like, what are you thinking about, Hunt? What matter? Why so tense? And it's like, whoa, mate, get away from me. I mean, it's some crazy like Dutch angles and close-ups, but I love the story. They've got some iconic moments, like when they tried to get the knock list from Langley, and that's the scene where like Tom Cruise is coming down that wire. An iconic scene that doesn't really get spoken about as much. It's kind of like, in its day, it was like Neo bending backwards in bullet time. When that came out, it was like, wow, it's really, really cool. And then obviously that same year, GoldenEye came out, which was great. And but yeah, in that film, I just remember being scarred. It was the first really ruthless death I saw, and that's the beginning bit where that guy is on the elevator and he's going up in that lift, and that spike gets him in the eye. That for me was horrifying because I've never seen anything as graphic as that at that age of 10. Man, I watched so many like non-violent but kind of like PG. My god, PG back then meant nothing. Like a Jaws was a PG. What was it? What was on the other day that was PG? Like so many films are PG. Oh no, I'm running out of battery. This isn't a cut, I promise you. Okay, that wasn't a cut. My memory card ran out of space, which is really annoying. It does it to me all the time when I'm recording, which is always fun. But that's my video, guys. That's my weekly roundup. That's everything I watched last week. What did you think? Did you think I was a bit harsh on Resident Evil? Did you really like it? Have you watched Blacklist? Is it a show that you've watched and you also think it's underrated? And have you played Final Fantasy VII, the original or the remake? What did you think of them? Definitely let me know in the comments below. And I am trying to keep these videos a little bit more concise because I know that I'm just getting used to these. These are all new videos to me, so I'm trying to judge the amount of time I'm talking about certain things. So if these go on for too long, I do apologise because I know we're all busy people and we've got loads of other content to watch, or we've got video games, TV shows or movies to watch ourselves, or a family to look after, or anything. You might be decorating your home, who knows. But I do appreciate if you are here watching this video, and again, always leave comments because I genuinely am interested. But until next time, stay out of trouble.